What's up, everybody, and welcome to Buds, Bros, and Superheroes, a podcast. My name is Nick James.
And I'm Big Body Biggz, the can of pimp.
And we are going to be your hosts for today. Thanks so much for checking us out. But if it is your first time, let me just set you up for what you're in for today. Our name is the three sections of the podcast in which we're going to talk about. So, Buds, we have some marijuana topics to talk about today. Bros is just what we're going on, what's going on in the world, how we're hanging out. And superheroes, we talk about a superhero flick that Big Body Biggz has just seen for the first time. This week, it's Man of Steel. Thanks to you and your votes. I know that was a few weeks ago, but we put some stuff up on Twitter and Instagram, and all the votes, we got Man of Steel up to talk about. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Speaking of social media, before we get started, we do have a Facebook, Instagram, and a Twitter. If you want to give those likes, follows, whatever you can, that'd be great. If you're on YouTube listening to us, maybe throw us a subscribe, hit that bell button, all those fun things. And if you're on a podcast platform, thanks for checking us out. And as always, the biggest thing that you could do for us is just a little bit word of mouth. Let people know that Buds, Bros, and Superheroes is a super cool podcast. With that, I'll shut up a little bit now because I just rail right into it. And we could talk about some
Buds or whatever, but before that, I just want to apologize to everybody because we missed last week, and it was straight up, it was my fault. We were supposed to record, and I fucking fell asleep, and I woke up too late, and I fucked up. And I actually fell asleep watching it, and I got high and got full and was in my recliner, and I fucked up. And I apologize, people. But anyway, getting to it. How you been, man?
Oh, I've been doing great. I'm laughing a little bit, not at you, but with you. I got high, I got full, and I was in my recliner, and I was like, I can't blame him. I would have done the same exact fucking thing. If you get me high, full, and in my recliner, I'm out, Jack. It's done.
Yeah, and my dogs woke me up, and if they didn't wake me up, man, you'd have probably been texting me like, "What the fuck is he doing? Where is he, bro? Like, what? It's 2:30." You know? So yeah.
But we're here now. Like I said at the beginning, happy 2021. Happy New Year to everybody. Let's get this started. Let's talk about some buds.
So I actually want to talk about like how I want to do better this year, as far as like maybe doing something even bigger or something different than I did last year, you know? So that's my goal, just to do something different, you know, whether it's growing a different way or growing in a different situation or same situation, bigger, all that stuff, man. A couple different growths at the same time, like, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna keep trying to push and push until it's legal. Then I can do it whenever, wherever, you know?
Yeah, no, that sounds great. The one thing that I'm very interested in, and anybody listening specifically for this section, is I want to learn more about hydroponics. If I'm not mistaken, you hang the plant above a source of water, a well of water, if you will. Like, you don't actually water them. There is no medium of soil or grass or anything. The roots just can sense the well of water underneath them and then just go for it. Yes, no? Have you ever done it?
Well, once I still have it. It's an ebb and flow. It's called an ebb and flow system, where I had 3-gallon pots with clay balls, and you take your seedlings, you put them in the clay balls, and or your clones, and put them in the clay balls in the pot, and you have your water below. The ebb and flow fills the whole table up with water for 15 to 30 minutes, and then it drains back down into the system, and then you do that periodically throughout the day. But it's a lot harder to grow in that because you fuck your water up. Like one night I cleaned my whole system, put fresh water and nutrients in. Next thing you know, I come back from work 8 hours later, the water's completely just white, like a big white cloud, just white. And I was like, what the fuck? So I had this like weird clear jelly shit on my roots. I had to clean them all off, cut a little bit of them off, start the whole thing over, clean all the hoses, everything. And then it was perfect after that. They grew beautiful. But yeah, it's the only time I had any kind of hydro system was the ebb and flow.
What ended up happening to cause that?
I don't know till this day. I just cleaned everything. I don't know. Maybe I didn't clean something good enough beforehand, and it just caused it to fuck up. Or maybe I accidentally put something too much in it or something, but it was fine when I left. came back and the shit was fucked up.
Damn. That's a great name for it as well, because I didn't understand it until you told me how it worked, and then I was like, oh, that's it. That's really smart. So it kind of waxes and wanes, almost like with the moon and the rising tide and lowering tide,
Right.
and that's fucking so ingenious that it's like, damn, I wish I thought of that first.
But you gotta, it's hard though, man. You gotta really be proactive with it, you know? Also, to me, the reason why I really left hydro is because I wanted to try something different. So I started growing in soil, and the taste of the bud grown in soil is just so much better
Oh, okay.
than hydro. You might get a bigger plant in hydro, but the taste from being in soil, like good soil, any real grower out there will tell you the same, you know.
If you're one of those people and listening, do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment.
Leave
Now,
a
what I'm
comment.
also curious about is you talked about your medium of clay balls. I don't mean to sound too stupid, but are they literally just balls of clay?
Yeah, hard clay balls are little brown balls, and it's used as a medium, just like cocoa or any other thing. Like there's so many different things you could use, you know.
A bunch of different mediums, yeah.
Yeah. So they're just, I mean, they're cool, and a lot of people mix soil with them and have them outside and shit with regular plants like tomatoes, whatever. But they're good for hydro. the clay
Why
balls?
clay?
I don't know. That's just what they're made out of.
And now
Yeah.
one more last question. Sorry. The diameter. How big are we talking? Golf balls?
No, some of them are like, they're mainly like marbles.
Okay.
know? Yeah, mainly like marbles. Maybe a little bit bigger, some a little bit bigger,
And
some
then
a little
what?
smaller.
The roots have to then penetrate through them and use like the open crevices to kind of get
Yeah,
through
they grow
that.
through it and grow around it, but it is actually a good system.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I always
cool.
think about like the first motherfuckers who were just like, let's do this. And it worked. And they're just like, that's amazing.
Yeah, you wonder how they even think to go about it like that. How do you do that?
Just well enough intuition. And then when you think about it too, it probably like has been known knowledge around the world for a while. Like when you really think about it, back in the day, if you will, like all I do is wear sandals. Like back in the day, I was watching
Jordans.
something on the Romans. That's why I kind of went there. And they built not the Parthenon. It was another one. It doesn't matter, but it was just too stupidly well thought out for me to think of like, God damn, we've known that for this long. The whole
In a
thing
lot
was
of
crazy.
ways. Absolutely.
What kind of vape you got going on there?
Oh, I'm finishing up this jet fuel by Rhythm. Usually we smoke jet fuel by Franklin Labs, but this is pretty good. It's not bad.
Oh, that disposable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the end though. I just brought it for the show and said, "Fuck it, let me off it during the show." You
Nice.
know? Other than that,
I've been smoking on jet fuel almost. I've been trying to snipe it wherever I can get it from. Franklin Labs it seems to have the only flower around here from it, but I don't know what it is about that flower and about its effects that just make me the most on point that I can be. Like I just feel like my batteries are at 100. Everything's going exactly how it should be. I'm firing on all cylinders. Like it is my now official go-to. It's the best.
it's one of my top go-tos. You know, definitely jet fuel, Durban Poison. Who else? Top. Man, Natty G from GBI. He had a strain he produced called Cherry Cheeks. That shit was fire.
Cherry cheese?
Cherry Cheeks.
Cheeks.
Like cheeks, yeah.
See, you went to touch your
that
face
shit.
and automatically I thought butt. Sorry.
But yeah, fire.
Interesting.
But he stopped growing it. I don't know what happened. I don't know if something legally happened or I don't know what happened.
Why? Where is he from?
Out in Cali, Clear Lake, northern, like the northern.
Up in that
part.
Emerald Triangle.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah,
Apparently some crazy shit goes on up there.
a lot of crazy shit goes on. Everybody thinks it's sweet. Motherfuckers are coming up missing and everything up there, man.
I think there's an entire Netflix thing on that, actually, that I was looking into the other day.
I saw like the first episode of it like a year ago.
Oh, yeah. It is kind of older.
I haven't watched the rest of them, but there's like he has told me some stories up there, you know, with a whole bunch of tweakers that are growing and shit like that, you know. So he has videos actually where he shows like old tweaked out fucking grows and shit. and shit like that, where there's a ton of junk all over the place and just fucked up. Just a fucked up situation to be around.
It's so funny. I have, unfortunately and fortunately, it's a guilty pleasure. Been watching a shit ton of Jersey Shore. So every time you say situation, all I can think of is Mike the Situation. Just a little sidebar. So to kind of round robin, that's not what we're gonna do this year, or you are gonna do this year. We're gonna go for a nice, clean grow, and I don't know. Do you think that it'll be addicting once you get it going?
It's definitely addicting, especially if you have an addictive personality. You're done for. One grow in, you're gonna always want to grow.
I definitely like I feel like that type A personality would definitely hit me because you wouldn't do it perfect the first time. You just couldn't,
No,
You can't do anything perfectly the first time.
because there's a million ways to grow. Everybody tweaks it to their own personal liking. So once you get that first grow in, that's just a practice run. That's just the rookie season. You know what I'm saying? So after the rookie season, now you're in the big leagues, and now you're trying to expand. Okay, I'm not going to do just these three or this one. I'm gonna go from 1 to 3 to 5 to maybe 10. You might even have to do it in a different area or something like that, but it happens because you don't want to waste your nutrients. I mean, if you grow one grow and you still have a bunch of nutrients left in seeds or clones even, you're going to get it in. Why not?
Yeah, from what I've seen on the internet after we were talking about it, nutrients aren't cheap.
No.
Not if you get the correct ones, and like everything else, good nutrients aren't cheap. Cheap nutrients aren't good, I'm assuming.
You pay what you get.
So
You get what you pay for, should I say.
Yeah, you can't go through the whole thing in one grow unless you are like you're talking about. You'd have to grow a lot to go through because the more I was kind of going through and looking, even at our vlogs, like it's only a few milliliters at a time, and yet they come in ounces, and it's like you're never going to go through that whole thing.
No.
So yeah,
No.
if you had all this stuff sitting around again, I could definitely see you wanting to start up.
Definitely. If you have like a tent or something like that, and your first grow is pretty good, even if it wasn't, and you know that you could do better, because you could always do better no matter what level you're at. You're never bigger than the grow game. So you could always, you might be growing for 20 years, and then one person comes along for 1 year, and you might be getting some game from them because they learned something new. You got to keep it open, keep your mind open with it. You can't just be blind to the fact that other people's ways might be better than yours.
I think that's a life lesson, though.
It is. Why not? Why be mad at that? But there are people that get mad at that, believe that.
I would have to totally agree, though I don't know in the context we're talking about. Again, going back to the life lesson where it's like, just do it this way, trust me. It's like, yeah, that way works, but have you ever thought about doing it this way? Yeah, that way would work, but I've been doing it this way, and like, just trust me. It's never giving me a problem. It's like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes with those people, I just got to laugh. It's all you got to do because you're stuck in your ways. If it works for you, that's good. But don't then impose on me that your way is the way.
There's a million ways to grow.
And there's also a million ways to fuck up. So I think that's kind of going back to why would you do it more than once or why do you keep doing it? Because if you fuck up and you fucked up and then you could fix that or look out for it in the future, it's going to get better. It's like anything else on the planet.
And try not to forget your mistakes. Make sure you go a different way about it. Maybe do your homework a little bit on the internet or whatever, videos, whatever. And maybe you could step your game up.
There's nothing that bothers me more than making a mistake I've made once before. Pisses me off. Like, I'll be at work and I'll be like, why? And they did you click this button? I went, no, like, shit. We haven't had that problem in like 6 months. Like, yeah, but that's the solution. Like we told you 6 months ago. And it's like, nobody's shitty about it. But at the same time, I'm like, damn it. Right. So if that happened, especially with my own little babies growing or something like that, like if I made the same mistake twice, that would piss me off. And then, I would have to go a third, fourth, whatever time it was to rectify that and be like, see, I didn't do it that time. Fuck you.
Especially when you already know better and you make the fucking mistake again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hearing.
I do get mad at myself. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So I keep saying a lot. Sorry, people. That's just what I do. I say after every fucking thing. You know?
If you're listening to this on the day it comes out on a Friday, you could play it like a drinking game.
Hey,
Every
how
time he
many
says
times-
you know,
how
take a
many
shot.
ti- yeah.
And if you can make it through more than the show, you might have an alcohol dependency.
You might.
I mean, I'm not judging. This is somebody who used to have an alcohol dependency. I had to say that to my doctor today. I was like, I was a full-blown alcoholic at one point, bro. Like, that's how much I used to drink. What do you... Like 1, 2 a day? It's like, yeah, in the morning. And then there was, I was... Sorry to mix stories, but I was also watching Fellowship of the Ring. That's the part where the little hobbit's like, what about second breakfast? Noonsies, second tea? And I was like, that's how I used to drink. Like, there was breakfast and then second breakfast, tea time, noonsies, snack, dinner, after. Like, I used to drink just like that.
Yeah, I used to eat pills like that.
Yeah.
I don't miss them days.
No, pound it, brother. Not doing that shit no more.
Shit, for real.
I always kind of like to end each section with a little bit of an upbeat. And even though we just took a spiral down, let's take that and go with 360. And once again, I'll offer up the email of budsbrosuperheroes@gmail.com. If you're going through any problems like that, hit us up. We'll love to talk to you through it,
Shit, I mean, I'm just thinking about me when I was...
Nobody can surprise
up on
us
pills.
with how bad you're doing stuff. So how about we put it that way? So don't be shy.
Yeah.
If you need somebody to talk to and you're just like, wow, an honest stranger from the internet, what can go wrong?
Yeah,
Not much.
'cause we've been through it. I remember hanging out in the fucking parking lot at knowing where people were getting their prescriptions, and I'd be sitting in the parking lot waiting for them to pull up and go in, and they'd come out and be like, "You," they'd be like, "Here, man, take 20 of them. Go ahead," just to get me to go. Like, fucked up, but I'm here now, so it's cool.
A little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, and I kind of subscribe to if it doesn't kill you, it does make you stronger. And now kind of wrapping all around Robin again. You're not making those same mistakes now. You learn from them.
Oh, I learned a lot. She had me fucked up. I mean, I wasn't the same person. Like, we talked about it before, So there I go, again, but fuck it.
With that, I feel like we could definitely close out the bud section and start going into the bro section a little bit.
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's go ahead and
do
do
it.
that and start that up. What's been going on this week?
Just chilling out, watching the news.
It's a scary place.
Yeah, watching people going fucking nuts. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, so if you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you've been seeing all the things. And though we're not really a political show, we got to talk about it just a little bit, I feel, maybe. It does impact just about everybody. It was some nuts-ass shit. I didn't even watch it firsthand. I was too afraid of what was going to happen.
Well, I watched what I seen on the news, on both channels or whatever, like Fox and CNN. Some of it was fucked up. Watching people chanting around a noose. They brought a noose, shit they used to hang people on, black people on, and it was weird to see black people still marching along, chanting and shit into the Capitol. It was just weird. I don't know. It was just weird.
Yeah, I've seen a few things past that, and I feel like the worst thing that has happened is there was probably police people who agreed with the marchers, and moved barricades and stuff like that. And just on the opposite end, I remember also seeing a video of one cop like, stop, and then just doesn't know what to do, and he runs upstairs, and they're running right behind him, and he turns around, and he's like, fuck, they're following me, stop.
The black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing, they were yelling racial shit at him as they're yelling up the steps, following him up the steps. But those are the same people that black people were in that Capitol rioting and bum rushing the show with. And I just don't understand those black people. As a black guy, that was just weird to me.
As a white guy, I don't know why anybody did any of that. Well, no, that's not true. I know why they did it. I can't believe they did. I can't really believe it went there. How about that?
It's almost like a big cult following for Trump. It's like a cult, like nothing else but a cult. Go to the Capitol
Yep.
and fight.
So if I'm not mistaken, the whole reason that they went there is because the people inside the Capitol were counting, and they're going to finalize that Joe Biden will be the next president, and that if they stormed it, they wouldn't get their business done. And it's that's exactly what they did, but they got their business done that night. And it has been elected.
Part of it is they feel like he shouldn't have got voted because it was stolen through electronic votes and blah, blah, blah. And, what the fuck?
So it has been, their job did get done that night, so it's all done. But I still heard a Trumper the other day. He's like, well, there's still time. The fat lady hasn't sung yet. And it's like, dude.
She sang,
I'm
went
sorry.
home. She already got paid for the show.
Yeah, she's waking up with her one night stand of whoever she felt like going home with.
It's
like,
over.
That fat lady is taken care of.
Over.
So they're hoping. They're hoping for something.
And they're saying they're going to do it again on the 19th or some shit.
Whatever they think they're going to do this time, I know that there's been National Guard people have been called in. Like, that shit's not going to happen again.
They're deep right now.
Oh,
like
yeah.
9,000 or some shit, maybe more.
Yeah, I don't think the government can be embarrassed like that again because people stormed the Capitol and took over. Took, like, pictures in people's offices. They literally walked out with shit.
Can you imagine if, like, ISIS was inside that crowd or, like, the Taliban?
They found bombs. They found pipe bombs. They found, like, a lot of shit on these people.
But, them motherfuckers are running there with shit taped down them and don't care to die, So they're dangerous. Just as they might even be a little bit more dangerous than the people we just saw run up in there.
ISIS?
Yeah, and like all these other groups from overseas and shit, man. They're no joke, bro. I'm not playing with them. You got it. I'm good.
The president does take on the responsibility to face any threat, foreign or domestic.
Look.
And instead, he was like, I'm not going to take care of it. I shall fan those flames.
If I was him, I would just be like, look, I'm done with this. I'm out. You guys got it. Just fade off, man. Go do what you do. You got money. You got hotels. You got golf courses and shit. Just go chill, man.
Well, the same thing the same Trumper said to me the other day was, well, we survived 8 years of Obama, so we're going to get through whatever. So he's not really a Trumper so much as just a hardcore Republican. And it's like, yeah, you had a hardcore Democrat for 8 years that you lived through, and you good? Oh, yeah, you're good. So I don't know. I don't want, again, I'm not trying to get too political or crazy here, but it was a weird time, especially when The Simpsons fucking called it. How many times can they be right? Do you think Matt Groening is like some sort of, what's that word? Clairvoyant? Is that when you can see the future?
Macaroni?
Maybe he's a macaroni. But that's crazy because it keeps happening.
It's happened. I saw something on YouTube where they did like 10 or more predictions, something like that.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them between who gets on political votes. I think they quote unquote predicted Trump. There was a few on there. Yeah, it was pretty weird. What are you guys doing? Dude, if you could see the future, would you try to tell people? Or do you think that you'd be deemed a loony or a co-conspirator?
I guess a little of both, depending on the person, So me,
you
I'd go towards co-conspirator, I guess.
Like, how could this guy have known this much? And it's like, I could see the future, and no, nobody can.
It's impossible. It's ridiculous. How dare you say this?
So nobody would really get on board with you. So yeah, they would probably think that. I was thinking about that through very obscure ways. Have you ever seen Black Knight with Martin Lawrence?
Yeah, but I don't. It was a long time ago.
Long story short, he thinks, or he does, we don't know, travel to the past. He meets a lady. He comes back from the past. He meets a lady who's just like her. He's, her descendant. And they fall in love. That's how the movie ends. But I'm thinking 30 years, 20 years, 10 years in the future with this girl. Do you ever sit her down and you're like, listen, one time I had either a time travel experience and or a really weird delusion where I met you before in the past? Or do you just let that shit go and just be like, I don't know. I'm going to keep that shit to myself.
I would say, tell me something about the past. Tell me something we did. Tell me 2 things we did.
Well, no, it's her descendant. So they were like hundreds of years.
Oh, man.
But like, I met your descendant, your great, whatever, when I time traveled to Great Britain or wherever they were when medieval England shit.
Like the 1400s.
Or even like a Wizard of Oz situation. Do you wake up and you tell people it was so fucking I swear to God I was there?
Yeah.
Or do you just keep that shit to yourself?
You keep it to yourself. Right. People will think you're fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I think there might be people out there, And maybe Matt Groening is. Maybe he is clairvoyant and he knew that I can't tell people. So I just got to make a cartoon that's worldly popular and slip it in. This way they could see it coming. Meanwhile, we're just so stupid. We're like, ha ha ha. Funny yellow people.
There's no other cartoon that predicts shit like that, right?
Not that I've seen. I'm sure with a little internet digging, you can find one or two other, what's it called?
But that many, though. Like, there's a few The Simpsons predicted.
I've also been doing it for like 40 seasons, 80 seasons. There's like 10,000 episodes or some shit like that.
There is a lot of episodes.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like the longest running spin-off ever because it was on the Tracy Ullman show first.
I remember that. The Tracy Ullman show, yeah.
Yeah, they were like, they looked a little different. They definitely sounded different. Even pretty recently, I'd say within the last 5 years, they did an episode where those two versions of each other met, and it was like, haha. Maybe it was a Treehouse of Horror. No matter.
Shit.
But since neither of us were in DC, how's the rest of your week been going? What's been going on?
Just chilling, man. Trying to get my house together. Trying to figure out what we're going to paint. We got some shit we got to paint over. Some shit that was left from painting. We ran out of paint and just moved away and never came back and painted, blah, blah, blah. What else do we got to do? Some molding. Couple doors. Moved the shit out of my daughter's bedroom finally. Most of it is moved out. So my son can actually have his own room, you know. So that's what we're doing, man.
Just so people don't
Home
think you're some sort of monster. Your daughter's a little bit older and has been moving out, and now your son will have his own room. You're not kicking your daughter out so your son can move, and there is a big age difference. I hope you don't mind me blowing up your spot, but you're like, I kicked my daughter out, and now my son has his own room.
Fuck that. I did kick her the fuck out the room. I did kick her the fuck out. Okay, I'm not sugarcoating this shit. I kicked her the fuck out the room because she hasn't been there in 5 months. She hasn't slept there in 7 months. And, well, actually, she stopped by 3 times in the last 5 months to keep it dead real, right? But honestly, people, what I'm doing is moving her into an empty room, which used to be the grow room. And he's moving into her room because she's never there. So I'm going to move her stuff over there. And now he has his own room because our rooms are all double the length. So he's been pretty much in our bedroom. But he needs his own room, you know? So she's out. She's out of there, man.
But she's a grown woman. She has her own place to live. Like, she's going to be okay.
She's okay.
Just the way that you made it sound, though. For anybody who it might have been their first time, it's just like, did he really just say he kicked one of his kids out? So it's like, it's not. It's better than it seems.
Yeah, it's not
I didn't
like
mean to blow up your spot with your situation.
I didn't throw her out. I would never throw one of my kids out.
I know.
But she, like I said, she lives with one of her friends. Her stuff is just in one of the 2 bedrooms that are finished. Like, her room's really pretty much the only real finished room, top to bottom. So she's got to go. Her shit got to get out of there. It's time for him. It's Chunk's era, and that's it. You know.
Yep.
It's his time.
Speaking of fixing up, if you've heard any construction, I do apologize for the noise, but it is what it is. Our bathroom/laundry room project is fully underway. These guys have been great. They show up every single fucking day. They work really hard. They're polite. It's been pretty wonderful. So today, as we record, it's Monday, and we're hoping one more work week and maybe a day. So maybe 9 whole days. We should be done.
That's cool.
So thank them very much. I'm very excited about that. Can quit using my father-in-law's house like a laundromat. Do laundry in our own house. Because it's been almost close to a year. It'll be a year in this house, 2/28.
Bro, to walk in there through your kitchen, do your laundry, bring it upstairs, instead of taking it to your car and bringing it wherever you bring it, bringing it back in the car, bringing it upstairs. Like, it's such a big difference. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
It's going to be worth every dime you pay for it, man.
And like I said, it's going to my father-in-law's. So really, my wife has been taking it and going there and helping him with other stuff. And personally, I love doing laundry. I don't mind it at all. I'm a big patutzer, so I like kind of going through and separating it out and doing it. So to have that all on the first floor where my TV is too, like, I'm just going to do laundry all night now, you know, because I've been staying up because of the work schedule anyway. So now even in between jobs at work, I can get stuff done and do laundry, it is. Game changer is not even the word. It's going to be fucking awesome.
See, I don't mind doing laundry, but my girl told me to stay the fuck away from it because she says I fuck it up.
I'm not going to lie, Sarah. Are you somebody who just throws it all in?
No, I separate, but she just really it's the way I fold clothes. She doesn't like the way I fold, and I shirts, man. I'll fold the same T-shirt 4 different ways.
All right, I feel her on that one. Then yeah, no, I couldn't do that shit. That's funny.
Towels are all different, and then you stack them. They're all fucking leaning certain ways.
No offense, my man. I'd tell you to fuck off too. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't do that.
She's like, leave this shit alone, man. Go sweep a floor, or vacuum or something.
Yeah, if you got a cleaning bug, go put it somewhere else. I'll take care of the laundry. That's funny because my good lady wife. I mean, I'm weird, and I've got really specific ways of folding shit. I don't know why. Yeah. But she was good enough. She learned it, and like she'll even look at me like, "Did I do it right?" And I feel bad. I feel like I'm your husband. We're partners. Like, don't look at me like just thanks for folding my stuff. But also in the back of my mind, I am that amount of crazy where it's like, yes, you did fold it right. Thank you very much.
Well, your heater and your wall's right behind me, and that fucking feels so fucking good, bro. It's like, it feels good. Yeah. It feels really good.
This winter hasn't been too bad. This we've run a lot of heat today, but so far it's been pretty good. But yeah, when that hits you right on the butt, it is nice. Pretty nice. Yeah, I'll go stand right there all the time, actually.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
When I hear it kick on, and it's funny, too, because when we first got King, he didn't understand it. I don't know if he's got a quote-unquote grasp of it now, but he doesn't do it as much. Like, when it used to kick on, he'd just stand in front of it and put his paw up on it, like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, and just stare at it. So we called it the inside sun because it was hot. Like, hey, this inside sun is being funny. But now he doesn't seem to care. It's so weird. I haven't thought about that in almost a year.
That's funny.
Anything else fun going on?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually waiting to get some furniture.
From where?
Some furniture. This place, I forget the name of it. It's a place down in actually, it's called Allen Furniture. It's the factory down in right by the border of Maryland and Harrisburg, somewhere in between there. But we're gonna have a truck deliver it to us instead of fucking trying to drive all the way down there and all that. I asked you, and you were like, I'm not driving 3 hours. And I thought about it, like, what the fuck am I thinking about? Like, that's 3 hours. You're asking somebody to drive 3 hours for furniture. One way, people. 3 hours one way to drive you when you can either get furniture somewhere in the area or have a delivery place just pick it up and bring it to you.
Yeah, it's 2021. You can order the weirdest shit and have it delivered to you the next day. And you're like, do you want to drive 6 hours round trip? And you don't know how small my bladder is. We've never been in a car for extended period of time. Like, by average, every 45 minutes, I'm taking a leak. I just got to. Unless I don't drink.
Times, yeah.
And then if I'm not drinking, I get cotton mouth. I'm just like, oh, this kind of... So I'm always drinking as well. So I'm stopping every 45 minutes. So that means every hour you have to tack on about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on where the bathrooms are.
Right.
So now all of a sudden we're talking about 3 hours and 45 minutes one way. Fat man's got to eat as well. So now we're also tagging in a half hour because I'm stopping at one of those places. I'm going to make sure it's McDonald's or some shit like that.
Something banging.
So now we're talking about 4 hours one way. It's an 8-hour day. And you're just like, thanks. And I'm like, okay, I'll drive home now. Like,
yeah, just drive home. Like,
I'll see you later, Nick. It's like, okay.
I'll text you when I get back, bro. I was high, man, when I asked you shit. But yeah,
it might be fun.
We're waiting to get some couple of dollars to get this furniture we really like. We had it when we first met. We met 20 years ago almost. It's almost 20 years. But
dang.
Yeah, long time, man. Long time.
Nice. Good for you, man.
But it's cool. You know, I'm lucky for her to deal with my shit. Man, she's patient. Very fucking patient. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys keep watching and let a friend know.
That we can close on out of the bros, and we will head into some superheroes, where I did mention at the very beginning, we watched Man of Steel. So Man of Steel came out in 2013, rated PG-13, and was 2 hours and 23 minutes long. How'd you feel about that right off the bat? Did it seem long to you?
Yeah, really long.
Now, I appreciate, you said you fell asleep earlier, but that was because you were high and full and in your chair. It wasn't because of the movie?
No.
All right.
I mean, there might have been a part in the movie where it was just a down part of the movie where I just kind of fell asleep, but it wasn't because of the movie itself. The movie itself was pretty good.
Yeah, I really like it. I really love its cast. It's got Henry Cavill as the titular star, Amy Adams, Michael Shannon in it. Oh, man, he is awesome. Diane Lane, Russell Crowe. It just keeps going on and on.
Russell Crowe's cool. I like him. The one guy, Michael Shannon, he's a good actor. He was in Boardwalk Empire. He was pretty good in that.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he's nice.
So for any of those unfamiliar, we are talking about Superman. He's published by DC Comics. First comic out was Action Comics #1, created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Now his origin breakdown is kind of really talked about in this, so we're going to save that for a little bit. His power breakdown is, depending on what era you're talking about, it's pretty crazy. But as of right now, the main staples is that he's super strong, invulnerable to harm, can fly, heat vision. I don't know if cold breath still kind of falls into one of the well-known ones, but he's faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than locomotive. I think is still kind of ingrained in the United States of America, and maybe even the world's culture. Kind of, what can he do? So, like we said, this version was directed by Zack Snyder. How did you like the look of it? The feel of this new one? Because the first episode we ever did of this was Superman the movie. Was the original Christopher Reeve one. And there's been many guys in between, like Dean Cain, Tom Welling, Brandon Routh cinematically, who have come through and have done this role. So let's talk about how you felt about Zack Snyder, how you felt about Henry Cavill, and how the entire tone. And there's the noise of the contractors. Sorry, guys, it's just going to happen.
Well, if you want my opinion on, so the look of the movie was pretty cool. I liked the special effects. I mean, there's a lot of buildings that got fucked up in this movie, a lot. That's the only part I thought was a little, all right, man. I mean, would they really let all this happen? Like, so many fucking buildings, you know how much money that is?
So 8 years later, you're saying that, and that was relevant 8 years ago. That was one of the biggest complaints that people had with this movie, was all the destruction in the final act. So you're not alone in that.
Okay, cool. And if I got to keep it real, I still like the original Superman way better than this.
Now you say way better. If
Not way better, but better.
Okay.
Because I do like this one. But that's just my first superhero movie, and I'm a little biased, I ain't going to lie. And I just like it.
So like I kind of brought up, and I'm going to read the IMDb just so I can concisely say it without tangenting it off, because you know me. The underlying story, the brief summary from them is, an alien child is evacuated from his dying world and sent to Earth to live among humans. His peace is threatened when other survivors of his home planet invade Earth. So it's kind of the same old Superman story of, he gets rocketed off Krypton, which does explode. His nemesis in the final end are in the Phantom Zone. So if you've seen the original Dick Donner movie and the second one, it's kind of definitely not beat for beat, but at least in terms of the origin and why these bad guys are here,
yeah,
it can be explained very similarly. Phantom Zone, Earth blew up, or
definitely
Krypton blew up, excuse me.
Definitely.
There was no tinfoil people in this, though. People on Krypton were fucking warriors. Russell Crowe fucking beat the shit out of people, and he was flying Pandora-looking dragons, which was a little like, all right, that's cool, too. Different planet. Not everywhere has horses,
Right.
I guess that was
there. You never know what the fuck they're riding,
So they took me on that journey, and I was like, okay. So Michael Shannon in this movie, at least his motivation is a little bit better as General Zod of, in this Superman world, on this Krypton, people don't birth anymore, other than Henry Cavill's character, other than this Kal-El is the first natural birth in, I don't remember the year that he said, thousands of years, but people are like bred to do certain things. So Zod was bred to defend Krypton, and when it blew up, the only way to defend that is to restart it, and that's why I think in this movie, I've said it many times, a character is only as good as his villain. A villain is only as good as his need. His need is bred into him. So how can you kill 20 billion people? That's way too many people live on this planet. How can you kill 7 billion people to restart Krypton? It's like, what do you mean? What else would I do? There is no other driving force behind me than to restart Krypton and to keep it safe. Like, I'm thirsty right now. My natural instinct is to get a drink. His natural instinct is to protect Krypton. You know what I'm saying?
I would have liked for them to have done this movie more like the original one, as far as like the steps, how it was a baby. Like there were steps in it, but they were all over the place. I would rather it have been boom, boom, like teenager, then young adult, and then, and having
More consecutive traditional storytelling.
Yeah, like the original. Why not?
I
With their
think because
spin
that's
to
the
it.
exact reason why not, is to not only put their spin on it, but to kind of spin it a little bit different. They don't want to, like I almost said the word beat for beat earlier. I think they wanted to stay and pay homage, but also not, they need...
Do their own thing. Well, they definitely did.
Especially with, like, the younger Clark Kent, because if you go back and listen to our first episode, we fucking narc on that guy who plays teenage Clark Kent in that first movie, because it's like, dude, you're like 45 years old. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, he looked old as hell, but that was funny.
I love that scene, though, when they're bullying the young Clark and they push him down next to a fence and he grabs the fence, and once Pa Kent comes out and he tells him fuck off, and they kind of zoom back to the fence and his handprint, like he's gripped it and broken, and he's like...
Yeah.
I could fuck them up, and it's just like, no, that's why you got to be Superman.
But could you imagine if he fucked that kid? Like if he just grabbed that kid's neck, or he just tried to punch him?
It would go through
He'd
like a wet
punch
noodle.
His fucking head off. Yeah, it'd be fucked up.
Oh, I firmly believe that it wouldn't be like a Rock'em Sock'em Robots, like he'd punch him and his head would fly off. I feel like it would just go straight through, like a nail through a piece of wood.
Straight through. Yeah, he'd swing so fast.
His fist is through him,
head,
and his head is like somewhere up on his arm, like a fucking bracelet, trying to swing
like
off.
Green Olive, like how you can just, just fucked up.
So it's a good thing he didn't do that. Now, one of the other things that I'm kind of want to talk to you about specifically is one of the tragic parts about Clark Kent, about Kal-El, is that his father dies more traditionally of a heart attack. It's shown in the Dick Donner that we saw because it's the one thing Superman can't do, Like if he needed to get out of somewhere quick, Superman can do that. Or if he needed to lift something, but he can't perform heart surgery, blah, blah, blah. In this, they kind of go a different way because Clark could have very easily saved him from the tornado. But in doing so, would have revealed his secret. And Pa was so set on the fact that these people aren't ready, that my life is worth giving to keep your secret safe because I know it will keep you safer because you can't do it right now. How do you feel about that whole letting him die?
If it was me personally, I would have been like, yo, get me. Come get me. Fuck these people. I would have.
I know it's a funny response.
Yo, get me.
And I don't want to go too deep.
What are you waiting for?
I know you're joking, but I don't want to get too deep. But think of, all right, let's just really quick. I don't want to go too dark. Somebody strapping Chunk down to see why he was able to get to you so fast. And like the government taking him and you remember, like, think about the very worst that the government could do to what an alien would be.
Yeah, because they're fucked.
They are. They would fuck him up.
They would fuck
so
him
let's
up.
get out of this world and go back into Superman. No harm to Chunky ever will come. But can you understand why he's sitting there like, you're never going to get my kid? It will never happen. I'd rather die right now.
Yeah.
And Clark having to hold back because he loves and respects his father enough to understand, like, no.
I respect that.
Isn't that hardcore? And it's even harder than a heart attack, if you ask me, because I could have done something, but I know I shouldn't have. I could have, but I can't.
But they still grip them up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
sir.
They still do grip them up. So I don't know if it was even worth it for the dad to just be like, nah, chill, let this tornado take me away.
Oh, we don't know that he would have for sure had a heart attack later down the road, though.
True. I guess you could think about it like that.
Yeah, no, this was Zack Snyder's, or the David S. Goyer was also the writer on this and helped with a lot of stuff. So, but I think that's, a lot of people hate on that because he's so fast. He could have gotten in and out of there. Nobody would. And it's like, guys, he's young. He's not really 1,000% sure what he's doing yet or how his speed works. He's not the Flash. And the Flash we've seen in this universe can be caught by a CCTV because he's not even that fast yet. Like,
Yeah,
there's too many angles, guys. I thought it was a great scene. And right before that too, he hit him with the "You're not my dad," and then he showed him how much of his fucking father he was. And when I watched that, yeah, it is gripping.
Real good scene. I even when I watched it, I wanted to ask you when I came over, like, yo, what'd you think about that part? Because I didn't expect it. I thought he was just gonna fucking be like, yeah, right. I'm not gonna just chill. Let me fucking rescue you, and he didn't. and he disappeared quick.
I thought it was beautiful. Yeah, it's
Good.
It's sad, but yeah, it is exactly what it had to be
The
to
effects
teach
were
him.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
So another person who I want to talk about greatly is Amy Adams, Miss Lois Lane. She was she's awesome in the DC, like Amy Adams. I mean, like Lois Lane as a character is always pretty great, but I mean this incarnation of her, fucking ball buster, bulldog of a fucking reporter, like exactly what she needs to be.
Yeah,
She gets a little washed out in Joss League because Joss Whedon can suck a dick, but prior to that, like I love a lot of her stuff. In Man of Steel, to me, she's perfect.
Yeah, I liked her in this. I thought, I don't know. I don't think she should have been following him in caves and shit like that. But other than that, it was cool.
That's what I mean. She is that bulldog. I love that first fucking scene of like, oh, we weren't expecting you till tomorrow. That's why I came today.
Right.
And then I'm hearing weird shit. I'm gonna go and explore this cave. That is what you do, in my opinion.
She she didn't make me feel like, what the fuck, this sucks. Oh, she's a terrible actor. I didn't think any of that.
Awesome.
That was cool.
And then they address immediately the biggest plot hole in comics of Pulitzer Prize winning investigative journalist can't figure out that this man in front of her is Superman. So she gets saved by Superman and then finds him. I don't want to say immediately. We have some backtracking to do, and that's how we learn about his history, blah, blah, blah. But she finds him. And it's like, yeah, of course you'd fucking find him. Pulitzer Prize winning investigative journalist. Like, no fucking shit she'd find him. So I love that scene where he, they talk about, my father believed that the world's not ready for me. And you gotta, I know that's what you do, but stop. Don't do this right now.
Right. She was cool. She was all right. What did you rate it?
See, I should write down what I've written everything else because I want to put this as the highest. Out of everything we watched, this might be my favorite so far of what we watched. It might be one of my favorite, if not my favorite comic book movie, because I love Superman. I do like me some Superman, and like that first flight scene is pretty amazing too. It makes me whelm. It makes me fill up with tears, and because side story, flying is something that, oh man, that would be cool.
Isn't there another Superman movie from like the early 2000s?
Yes, sir. Brandon Routh played him. He was a little unknown actor, and still, if you ask people, he plays a big part in the DC universe on the CW, and will maybe even come back in an HBO series where he picks up that role again as the Kingdom Come Superman, which I know to use. But yeah, that movie didn't do too well, so people like to forget it and just kind of put it under. Bryan Singer directed, and he's kind of an asshole, so it's boring, and it's kind of creepy too. It's a little creepy. He uses a lot of his superpowers to stalk Lois. We can watch it, but fuck, that's like 2.5 hours long, and there's nowhere near the release of Awesome. Like his big, I don't even like how it ends. No, there's so much wrong with it, if you ask me. And also Kevin Spacey's in it, and he creeps me the fuck out as a human being. So now when I watch it, I'm just like, ugh.
Well, yeah, because when I watched this, when I first put it in, I thought it was that movie. I said, no, this is different. This is more up to date. This is not the same shit. Mm-mm.
There's no underpants on this Superman. No. That's how you could definitely tell them apart.
No. Yeah.
Do you mind the underpants on Superman?
No, I never thought about it, so it don't bother me now. I don't mind them.
Apparently when
piece of the outfit.
I'm sorry. Apparently when the boys were thinking about it, the boys, like they're my friends, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, it's supposed to kind of be like a circus strongman trunks, and I'm like, that makes sense. I'm fine with that. Why it would keep up today, I don't know, but my Superman has trunks on. Like,
doesn't Batman wear trunks too?
Yeah, it will not. Yeah, they kind of. People make fun of it too much. Yeah, I'm kind of old school in the fact where it's like, if the man who can lift a fucking building wants to wear trunks, like, I'm cool with that.
Right.
If that's part of his civilization's look and they want to wear trunks, whatever. Quail Man did it, and he did it with style as well. So I'm kind of fine with everybody wearing trunks on the outside. But
wear the trunks.
At the same time, I guess I could see why people are like, isn't it kind of weird? Like, underwear go on the inside. That's why they're called underwear.
But these are superheroes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Michael Shannon, but as a villain, like I said, his motivation was perfect in that scene where he's getting wrapped up. Did you notice that, like, the things, they didn't get loaded up into a mirror of sorts like they did the Negative Zone in the Dick Donner version? They get loaded up into a ship, and that ship gets crossed. That they kind of look like big flying dicks.
The one time,
when they're getting wrapped up in the jelly and they're getting shuttled into the thing. I have no idea who designed those, but I was watching this time. I was like, it does kind of look like a dick, because I've heard it before, but I've never gone to actually confirm. But that whole thing was, I will find him. I will find him. Oh, that's so good. And then at the very end, too, you know, he's beating the shit out of Superman all over that city, and which we talked about gets destroyed. And he's like, you know, I've trained for my entire life. Where did you train? On a farm? And then he just starts fucking flying. You know, it took Superman so long to figure that shit out. But Zod is just so determined that he's like, fuck it.
Had the same fighting skill. Well, his skills were better pretty much. But they were the same type of. It wasn't like completely different. Like they both flew the same and they had strength.
Any Kryptonian that is under the Earth's yellow sun will automatically get any and all attributes of the Superman.
But he was fucking Superman up.
Yeah.
He was.
Because his military background and his fighting prowess and all that stuff is bred into him.
He was about that life.
You know, Kent is more of a middle of Nebraska, haymaker, corn-fed fuck, whereas this guy's like, I know different forms of fighting for longer than you've been around, bitch. That leads me into this kind of, I don't want to wrap it up necessarily, but we are getting a little long in the tooth. How do you feel about Superman snapping this guy's motherfucking neck?
I felt like he had to die. You know, he was, hey, it's kill you or you kill me.
He literally says that.
That's it.
So a lot of people complain that Superman was so strong to break his neck. Like, couldn't he have just faced his head a different way and shot the lasers a different way and saved that family and then dealt with him in a more friendly way? And it's like he was never going to stop. He literally said the words, I'm going to die or you are. I'm going to die killing you or you're going to be dead.
One of the two.
And then a lot of people like to forget that technically in the second Dick Donner movie, he kills Zod in that one too. It's not un-Superman-like for him to kill Zod, is what I'm saying.
Right, okay.
And I think this part even more in that fucking gut wrench of a scream that Cavill gives after he snaps his neck. He felt it, dude. That was another decision, you know. That was a decision as big as letting his father die. You know, I have to, like, in my opinion, that was as big of something that will set his moral barometer for the rest of his life. Like, I killed a man once. And not only is he a man, he was one of the last men like me.
You ever notice in all the Superman movies, I'm pretty sure in all of them, there's always a scene where he's like, ah! like
screaming?
Yeah. Always. It's crazy.
That's funny. Maybe not Superman 5. There was just long nails and people flying in space that were human beings. I just saw something like that. Like this bad guy. Did you ever see Superman 5? That's right.
How many Supermans are there?
In the original Christopher Reeve, I think he went on for 5 of them.
Fuck.
And there's like this scene where like there is a nega Superman and he's got like a big blonde mullet and he can grow his nails, which is really strange.
No, I think I stopped watching them after like Superman 3.
Yeah, after the Chris Pryor one. Chris Pryor?
No, Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor, Dick Pryor.
Yeah, like after that, I stopped watching them.
That's good, yeah. Don't go on for Superman 4, A Quest for Peace. Maybe it's that one and they never actually made 5. Shit got fucking weird. Anyway, I don't remember where I was going with that. Sorry, guys. It's definitely more rounded. I love the look of it. I love the heartfelt of what he needed to do when he needed to do it. And I like at the end.
So what is your rating?
It's a 9.
Woo, a 9.
I do think the destruction at the end is a little too much. I don't mind some. You know, it had to happen. But between him fighting Zod and the world engine trying to terraform the planet, like that really fucked shit up too. So between the two, when you really looked at Metropolis, like if that was New York or something like that, that's just, I don't know. I feel like Superman could have done the old Dragon Ball Z of like, there's too many people around. I should find a big mountain range for us to fight in or some shit like that, you know? But it later kind of comes back to kick us in the ass because there's a movie that follows this called Batman v Superman where every time they make sure before they have a fight in a place, they make sure there's a character clear on screen who's like, don't worry, this place is evacuated. Oh, thank God it's after 5 p.m., so the local downtown is pretty empty. Like,
shit.
people want their cake and eat it too. But that's why I think it really stops me from a 10, because even though Superman was still trying to figure out how to be Superman, like there should have been something of like, I can't, buildings just keep coming down.
Outside of Christopher Reeves, how many Superman movies are there? Just the 3 or?
The Brandon Routh one in between.
Okay.
So yes, cinematically, this is now the 3rd guy to do it.
Okay.
But on TV, there was Smallville. Do you remember that show coming out?
I didn't really
He never really put on the suit, so he was never, quote unquote, my Superman. I like some of the stories in between, but they used the kryptonite to irradiate normal human beings to give him a villain of the week, and it just got old for me pretty quick.
Right, me too. I really dig it.
Right now, I think his name is Tyler Hoechlin, something like that. He does it for the CW verse I was talking about, and he has a new, almost updated version in the 90s. Do you remember The Adventures of Lois and Clark? Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher?
Yeah.
He was on, like, that's another Superman. And then, like, back in the day, too, on the television, there was George Reeves, like the original guy to don the S.
Yeah, see, if I, and this is with any show, if I watch one show and I don't like it, can't get into it, it's hard to watch episode 2 and get into it. You know, it's hard. I'll try to give you that second episode, man, but it's tough.
You got to hit me with a banger.
Yeah, hit me.
Especially if it's an hour.
Especially if it's an hour. Absolutely. It's crazy.
Like I tell people, you know, from the people who don't like The Office, I was one of those people for a while. And it's like, you got to watch more than a few episodes. And I understand, like, I get that pushback of, no, I don't want to do that because I don't like Breaking Bad because I can't get through the first few episodes. But even now, I bet people who have never commented on our shit before are going to be like, bro, you should probably watch Breaking Bad because people love that shit. But no, I don't want to get through the first 3-4 episodes because it's like 45 minutes. No, I'm not getting through that much entertainment.
Wait, you don't like Breaking Bad?
See, I didn't even need a comment on the episode. No, I just told you. I just said it out loud.
How could you not?
Because the first few episodes suck dick.
Bro, you got to watch it, bro. You're tripping, man.
See, I didn't even need an angry commenter. You're sitting here looking at me like I've got 5 heads.
Are you kidding me?
Every week I look at you and I go, have you seen this? And you go, no. And you're like, I'm like, damn. And now I'm telling you this. And you're shaking your head like, you fucking poser.
I can't fucking believe that.
Dude, those first few episodes are boring as shit.
First few episodes.
His wife is an asshole.
Fuck them, man. I know she is. I'm telling you, that shit gets hot. As soon as he links up with Jesse and they start getting it cracking, you got to watch it, man. I'm telling you. Just binge one weekend, man, on a Saturday. Just give it 3-4 episodes. From when they link up and they start making moves, you'll like Breaking Bad.
I'll try it again. Many of people have told me I have tried, but I did admit to having enough time to watch Jersey Shore, so I probably have enough time to watch that.
You know what I mean? That might not be what you like.
Sometimes I just can't handle the suspense of every single episode just waiting for the next shoe to drop of like, all right, thank God, these people didn't find out what I was doing, and now I'm going to be safe for a whole nother day, and then there's another motherfucker who's just like, oh, now I know what you're doing, and now you're under my thumb. Yeah, you know, it's like even Sons of Anarchy got like that for me for a little bit, where it's just like, if it's not the FDA, like then it's the racist supremacist, and then if it's not him, it's the FDA's back. You know, like there's a point where
they get like that. You're right.
Just watching somebody always being under somebody else's thumb and never coming out, because if they came out the good guy, the show's over.
Yeah.
So like that constant need of always needing
dudes that they link up with, like a ton of different dudes
who always put them in the same situation of just
pretty
like
much.
So that's why the other thing too of just like, I know you're going to be fine because there's more. I don't know.
That's what was good about Sopranos. Like it was the main family, but there was always some different shit going on with each little end of it. You know, each person. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
Cool.
They're doing a prequel. Boys at Brooklyn or Newark? No, the Men. I should know that. It's somebody from New Jersey. Something about Newark that
on HBO.
Yeah.
Or really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
I know you love gangster shit, so I'll make sure. Yeah, we can come over and watch it together.
Too.
Oh fuck!
I
got the Max, bro. I got it all, so you can come over and we can watch it together if you want.
That's cool too.
With that, we kind of fell out of Superman talk, but I think that we covered all the bases. So, what was your rating, man? My rating was important, but I want yours.
Okay, my rating, I'll give it an 8.5. It could be because I'm a little biased because I love Superman. But I did enjoy the movie, so I have to give it an 8.5. I like the actors in it. I was used to them. I liked all the actors in other movies, from Lawrence Fishburne to...
Oh, yeah, I don't even think I
Bro.
said his name earlier. Fucking shout out, man. He was a great Perry White.
Yeah. So, that was cool. So, 8.5, dog.
Awesome. Where do you think we should go next? Or do you think we should leave it up to the fans again?
How about this? We'll let the people out there pick. And if it's something, I know we have the movie because you got damn near every movie. So no matter what you guys pick, as long as it's something, that's superhero.
Did you mind the length of this?
I don't like any movie over 2 hours.
So we're going to be hard staying with DC because my two picks would then be to either go down the BVS route, which is the direct follow-up to this, where we'll see Ben Affleck as Batman, and we'll get our first introduction as Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. So, like, you've seen the Wonder Woman flick, you know how well that fucking turns out.
I want to see the new one that just dropped. He said, no, you don't.
No, you don't. We could talk about that on its own episode, but let's pump the brakes on that because we have time. No, you don't.
Damn.
So yeah, we'll either do that. We'll have something up soon. So make sure to follow us on all of our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Thanks for checking us out on the YouTube if that's where you are. If you're on a podcatcher, thanks so much. Again, if you can just word of mouth us, let everybody know that Buds and Bros and Superheroes fun show. That'd be cool. If not, if you just want to keep tuning in, that's also very much appreciated. Love doing this shit. So we will be back next week with a new show that you voted on. In the meantime, I've been Nick James.
And Big Body Biggz, the can of pimp.
We are Buds, Bros, and Superheroes, and we are out of here.
Rah.